What if I told you that the secret to lasting happiness isn't found in getting more, but in appreciating what you already have? Today, we're diving deep into one of humanity's oldest questions: how to find genuine contentment in a world that constantly tells us we need more. The ancient Stoics, philosophers who lived over 2,000 years ago, discovered something profound about human nature. They realized that our happiness doesn't depend on external circumstances, but on how we choose to perceive and respond to what we already possess. In the next 12 minutes, we'll explore 4 powerful Stoic principles that can revolutionize your relationship with contentment. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools used by emperors, slaves, and everyone in between to find peace in an uncertain world. 1. The dichotomy of control. The foundation of Stoic contentment begins with a simple yet revolutionary idea called the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers, taught us to divide everything in life into 2 categories: things we can control and things we cannot. What can we control? Our thoughts, our actions, our responses, and our choices. What can't we control? Other people's behavior, the weather, the economy, our past, and even many aspects of our future. Here's where it gets interesting. Most of our unhappiness comes from trying to control things that are fundamentally outside our control. We stress about whether others will like us, whether the stock market will rise, or whether our plans will work out perfectly. But when we shift our focus entirely to what we can actually influence, something magical happens. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. The old you might grip the steering wheel, feeling your blood pressure rise, cursing the other drivers. But apply the dichotomy of control, and you realize you cannot control the traffic, but you can control your response. You can use this time to practice deep breathing, listen to an audiobook, or simply accept the situation with grace. This isn't about being passive or giving up on your goals. It's about directing your energy where it can actually make a difference. When you stop wasting emotional energy on things beyond your control, you suddenly have much more capacity to appreciate and improve what's actually within your influence. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his personal journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." This realization is the first step toward genuine contentment. 2. Negative visualization and gratitude. The second Stoic practice might seem counterintuitive at first. Negative visualization, or as the Stoics called it, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. But before you think this is about being pessimistic, let me explain how this practice can actually increase your happiness dramatically. Negative visualization involves regularly imagining the loss of things you value: your health, your loved ones, your possessions, even your life. The goal isn't to become paranoid or depressed, but to cultivate a deep appreciation for what you currently have. When Seneca practiced this, he would imagine losing his wealth, his status, even his freedom. Not to torture himself, but to prepare his mind and, more importantly, to make him profoundly grateful for his present circumstances. Try this exercise. Imagine waking up tomorrow and your best friend has moved to another country permanently. Feel that sense of loss for a moment. Now return to reality and notice how much more you appreciate their presence in your life. This is negative visualization at work. The practice works because our minds naturally adapt to good things through a process called hedonic adaptation. That new car that excited you 6 months ago, you barely notice it now. That promotion you worked so hard for, it's just normal life today. Negative visualization counteracts this adaptation by making us consciously aware of how good we have it. But there's a deeper layer here. The Stoics believed that everything we have is, in a sense, on loan from a universe. Your health, your relationships, your possessions, none of these are permanent fixtures. When you truly internalize this truth, you stop taking things for granted and start experiencing genuine gratitude for the temporary gifts in your life. Epictetus taught his students to think of their loved ones as on loan from fate. This might sound cold, but it's actually incredibly loving. When you remember that nothing lasts forever, you treat each moment, each conversation, each ordinary Tuesday evening with your family as the precious, unrepeatable gift that it truly is. 3. Present moment awareness. The third principle focuses on one of the most profound sources of human suffering: our tendency to live anywhere except the present moment. We replay the past, worry about the future, and miss the only time when life actually happens, right now. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." Think about your own experience. When are you most content? Usually, it's during those moments when you're fully absorbed in the present, playing with a pet, having a deep conversation with a friend, watching a beautiful sunset. The Stoics developed a practice called morning reflection and evening review. Each morning, they would set intentions for the day, focusing on how they wanted to respond to challenges. Each evening, they would review what went well and what they could improve, but always with the goal of learning rather than self-judgment. But present moment awareness goes beyond formal practices. It's about training yourself to notice when your mind starts spiraling into what-if scenarios or getting stuck in if only regrets. The Stoics taught that suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. Here's a powerful exercise. Next time you're doing something routine, washing dishes, walking to your car, eating lunch, try to be completely present. Notice the sensations, the sounds, the details you usually miss. You might discover that even mundane activities contain moments of unexpected beauty and peace. The irony is that when we stop constantly seeking happiness in some imagined future and start paying attention to what's happening right now, we often find that contentment was available all along. Your current life, with all its imperfections, contains countless opportunities for appreciation and joy, but only if you're present enough to notice them. Seneca expressed this beautifully. Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind made steady and whole by truth finds rest in the familiar. When you're truly present, even familiar experiences reveal new depths. For virtue as the highest good, the final Stoic principle might be the most transformative. The idea that virtue, living according to wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, is the only true source of happiness. This challenges everything our culture teaches us about success and fulfillment. We're told that happiness comes from external achievements: the right job, the perfect relationship, enough money, social recognition. But the Stoics noticed something crucial. People who have all these things aren't necessarily happy, while others who lack them can experience profound contentment. Why? Because external things are ultimately outside our complete control. You can work hard and still lose your job due to economic changes. You can be loving and still face relationship challenges. You can save money and still lose it to circumstances beyond your control. But virtue, your commitment to doing the right thing, treating others with respect, acting with integrity, facing challenges with courage, this is entirely within your control. No one can take your virtue away from you, and it's available to anyone regardless of their circumstances. The Stoics believed that when you align your actions with virtue, you experience what they called eudaimonia, often translated as happiness, but better understood as flourishing or living well. This isn't the fleeting pleasure of getting what you want, but the deep satisfaction of being who you truly are. Consider someone like Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor, who found meaning and even moments of peace in the most horrific circumstances. His external situation was beyond terrible, but his commitment to maintaining his dignity, helping others, and finding purpose sustained him in ways that no external comfort could have. This doesn't mean external things don't matter. Let's bring this all together with some practical steps you can take starting today. First, begin each morning by identifying one thing that's been worrying you and ask, is this within my control? If not, practice letting it go. If yes, decide on one concrete action you can take. Second, spend 2 minutes each day practicing negative visualization. Choose something you value and briefly imagine its absence. Then return to appreciating its presence in your life. Third, designate specific times for present moment awareness. This could be during your morning coffee, your commute, or before bed. Use these moments to anchor yourself in what's actually happening right now. Finally, end each day by reflecting on one way you acted virtuously. Perhaps you were patient with a difficult person, honest in a challenging situation, or courageous in facing a fear. Celebrate these moments of character. The beautiful truth the Stoics discovered is that contentment isn't about having perfect circumstances. It's about developing the wisdom to respond perfectly to whatever circumstances arise. You already have everything you need for happiness. You have this moment, you have your capacity for virtue, and you have the choice to appreciate rather than accumulate. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The art of contentment isn't about getting more. It's about becoming more aware of the abundance that already surrounds you. Start today. Your future self will thank you, but more importantly, your present self will finally be free to experience the happiness that was always available. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more content on practical philosophy and living well. Remember, you have everything you need to be content right now. The question is, will you choose to see it?